got anything else to say? Not right now, I see. We're just going to wait out. Hey guys, there's chairs around here. You can come pick. Come on now. Let's get up here. Get up here. Come on. I guess you're not going to listen to me. Okay. Okay, we will put this in motion. Last time I was in this room was in 1990. Yeah. And it was about the groundfish. And it was not a very good time in our lives. I come here to have my say, and actually it was very brief. I wanted the DFO to shut the ground fishery industry down till we had a management plan. Of course, they wasn't going to listen to that. Who was I? I was not a bureaucrat, and they had the say, right? Second thing I said was, you know, who's here defending the crew members? Not one skipper got up defending his crew members, not one of them. Third thing I told them what was going to happen in the ground fishery. You fellas are going to destroy your livelihood, you're going to destroy your family, and you ain't going to have no ground fishery. They kind of scoffed and laughed at me, but you know what? I was right. Absolutely right. Okay. Going back to last Wednesday, we put an association into effect, and we do have a name for it. It is 1688 Professional Lobster Fishermen's Association. The 1688, you don't have a luxury of going asking Richie Joint Stocks. This is the name we want. The name I wanted was quite simple. It was the Lobster Fishermen's Association. But they tell you what the name's going to be. You don't have no say in it. So the reason 1688 is that is the number of licenses between 33 and 34. Okay? Terms of references, that's what we're going to deal with. There'll be a democratic election once a year on January the 4th. And at that time, you will vote whether you keep the board of directors in or you want to throw us out. That will be guaranteed once a year. The other thing is, the board of directors right now is Stephen Gorham, Erica Smith, Tina Sears, and James Wood. We need one more, and I've tried very hard to get that one more director. Okay. I won't go to meetings alone, never. And the top priority will be the lobster fishermen. I'm not, right now, my plate is pretty full, and I can't see us doing anything else right now. There is a lot of work that needs to be done. A lot of work. You fishermen are to blame. You skippers are to blame. It's pretty messy. Look what you've done this winter. Look what you've done. You went lobster and you went in down. And you took your crew members and you never made them no money. So it's pretty damn messy. Yeah. Very messy. Now, who's going to clean the mess up? You guys are going to have to clean it up. If you give me the mandate, we'll clean it up. And it's your choice whether you want to do that or not. Okay. DB has showed some, they've called us, and they want to join, and New Brunswick and Grand Manan wants to join up. Of course we'll welcome them. We have to have them guys on site if we're going to increase this lobster price. We have to. And we have to welcome everybody aboard, because it is a community's industry, and that's the only way we're going to get things done. The private sector is welcome to come in and pay their money, whatever they want to donate. The business people, they want to donate money. By the way, the liquor store in Barrington is going to supply money for their workers, and they are going to join this association. And we will target everybody to make sure that we're going to get a donation from the business part of this world here. Because if we are successful, they're sure is going to be, you know, they're going to be successful too. We've had a lot of people going out west. We don't need them people going out west. We've had a lot of people that's white things on the front door saying they foreclosed on the houses, and nobody has made any money this winter. And if the guy wants to stand up here today and tell me he's made money, he is full of bullcrap. Believe me, he is. Okay? So, first thing happened Thursday was I done 5 interviews with the news media, and I've done about 7 more since then. We're getting a lot of exposure. And I've got to thank CJLS and tell you that they've been on site and been very helpful. I had a call from Don Ross. He wanted to know when we was going to boycott the causeway. Not interested. And you fellas shouldn't be interested either. That's not a way to go about this.
Right on.
Pardon me?
Right on. Done that years ago.
And you know what? How would you go? How could you turn around and boycott the causeway when them same people is going to buy your losses and pay you money for your losses? Why would you ever do that? Yeah. We're not going to boycott anybody. We're not going to do anything criminal, neither. What we're going to do, and you're going to tell me how to do this, you're going to vote on this, how are we going to handle this lobster price with these dealers? I've had good response from the dealers. There's been 7 dealers call me. They've all been on side. They agree with what we're doing, and that is very surprising. Okay? And today I hope I get a mandate to sit down with the dealers to a meeting from you people so we can negotiate this price. I think the timing was right. That when we first had this meeting last Wednesday, I don't think the dealers had got enough money to put them through the winter months. And by the way, the price in Woods Harbour on Monday afternoon was $4.50. And this is some responsibility you fellas got to do to your dealers. If the price of lobsters is $4.50 in Woods Harbour, the price of lobsters in Yarmouth has got to be $4.50. Don't forget that. Now, if you want to sell your lobster in Woods Harbour, call me. I'll sell your lobster for you. Damn right I will. And if I was you guys, if I was in your shoes, I'd be selling my lobster for $4.50 too if I wanted to. This new association will only work if you people want it to work. And strength is within numbers. We need 80% of the license holders to join up. We need 80% of the crew members also to join up. That's what we need. So we can say to Sterling Belleville and Gerald Kitty, look, here's what we want done. And we won't stop until we get it done. We're not going nowhere. We're going to make sure we're going to get this done. If you go, we'll just say, I wouldn't even think about entertaining 30, 40%. That's no good. You got to come, pay your dues, and join the association, and we'll get it done. Quite simple. If you want it done. Or you can go back and take your $3.25. And your crew members, if you look around the next fishing morning, you're going to look around and you're going to say, well, I'm waiting for my crew members. And by and by one of them shows up and said, guess what? We're not going anymore. That's the trend today. That happened in Woods Harbour the second week of the season. Okay? So we've been through the association, what it's called, been through that. Talked about Digby, New Brunswick. Talked about the boycott. Don't want nothing criminal done. As far as going back and saying, well, you know, bringing up that old revenge and saying, I'm not gonna join this association for that fellow burnt my pots off. You gotta let that go. Forget about that. You gotta bear the axe. Stick together, right? So, just look at my notes here a little bit. I've pretty well covered everything, all except one thing I forgot to say was that people, the private sector and the companies will not have a vote. There'll be a non-voting member if they want to join. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open this meeting to comments. Comments and concerns. And I'm sure you've all got plenty of concerns. And I'll tell you one thing. I want to entertain anything about swear words. Anybody getting out of hand? I'm not going to entertain it. We got a big meeting here today. I'm very, very excited. And I thank you for coming. Now, we got to have the concerns and the comments. Somebody's got some comments here.
We'll have just one, these two sectors.
Tell them who you are. Tell them where you're from.
My name is Captain Blenford and I'm from Eastport, LaVale. I think what James Mood is doing here is the right thing for everyone. But I don't quite understand our industry, because where I fish, we have all hard lobsters. Now, what I'm concerned about is people are saying, well, we got soft lobsters, we're getting no price. So if that's the scenario, then I think it's time that we all sit down and look at it this way. If I come to the war, and that skipper comes to the war, and he's got 90% good lobsters, and I got 40% junk, I say that that man that's got 90% should get a better price. Then I should take a step backwards and look at that gentleman that had 90% good lobsters and think to myself, well, he's getting more money than I am, so why don't I step back a little bit and do the same as he's doing? So, our environment has changed. We haven't got 5 or 6, 7 feet of snow. The weather is not cold anymore, so the lobsters are late before they get hardened up. So, even if we have to throw that soft lobster overboard, we know we're going to catch it in the spring. So if we can get the price of lobsters up, you're going to wind up making the same amount of money in the spring as you are in the fall. But getting back to the association, I do agree with this gentleman, and we've needed it for a long, long time. Now, but there is one thing. I've heard some comments of, from James himself, that the office should be in Woods Harbour. Right now, I have to disagree with it. And the reason why I'm disagreeing with it, because if we're going with this, I don't want to have to travel from Eastport, LaVale, or Port Midway to come to the office in Woods Harbour. So really it should be centrally located so that you only got to travel halfway and I've only got to travel halfway. And in this association, there should be no less than 12 to 18 people sitting with this gentleman on the board, and I'm hoping that this gentleman right here is going to represent you as fishermen very honestly. So whatever this gentleman is going to do for you guys, I say yes. Back in 110%. There's a lot that I'd like to say, but I could imagine that there's some people out there that would like to have something to say. Because you don't want to listen to me, and you don't want to listen to James, but give him your comments. Come up here and don't be scared to talk. Because this is what this man needs. People to talk. Thank you.
The skipper's had to say, I think that you got to sit down and negotiate with the dealers, and you got to find out what the dealers want to get a fair price. If you want something, you got to give something. Same as this bottle of water I bought up here to the Red Knight. I wanted the bottle of water. I had to give him some money to get the bottle of water. It's quite simple. But the system you fellows are working under, what you're doing, you don't have no system. And that's why that you're in this mess today. Listen, you're going to lose everything. Even your next door neighbor's rig, your people you do business with, you're going to lose it all. Your hired men, they ain't going to hang around. They're not making money. I wouldn't. Would you? No, you can't do that. So I think, the thing I think that's caused most of the problems, I think when they negotiated with the dealers, that question wasn't asked. How do we get to a $5.50 price? How do we get there? Tell us, okay, what would you like to see this industry do? And actually, this lobster industry is not being fished the right way. My concern. But do I have a vote? I don't even have a vote. I don't. You fellas got to remember that it's your right to tell me your concerns and your issues and give me a mandate, and I'll sit down with the dealers and find out what they want. And you fellas will all know what they want. How do we get to this price? I'm sure I haven't got a clue yet, because to start with, some people saying, well, cut to 300 parts. 300 parts? I don't think that's going to cut it either. Digby had 300 parts. Some of them fellows caught 100 and some thousand-pound lobsters. That's not the answer. It isn't.
James, how did we get to this $3.25 price?
How did you get there?
How did we get there?
How? Hold it now, one at a time, Cat. Get up, Robert.
Now you answer me.
How did we get there?
How did we get here? Never mind how we get to the $5.50. Why did we get to the $3.25?
Because you went fishing without a minimum price.
Okay.
Up here. Get up here.
I want your spot.
Radio. Right there. Hold it. TV up there. Hold it.
Crack it, all right. Crack it,
Hi, my name's, that's all right. Chris McIsaac, I fish out of Town Point. I'm nervous as hell,
Oh, yeah?
but I can't, I personally can't take it
You
anymore.
want a drink?
No, I don't want a drink. This gentleman asked how we got to this $3.25 price.
Hold it. You go high or?
I'm a hired man,
Okay, good.
and I've been waiting a long time, as you can tell in my voice, to speak my opinion. Because you guys all worked us 3 times as hard,
That's right.
and I'm not worried about your boat payments. I'm not worried about paying for the bait,
I love this.
okay? I got a mortgage payment,
I'm excited
I
now.
got 2 kids, and I'm being fucked over by your guys' greed.
Can't do that
I'm
for it.
sorry. And that's what it is. How do you get a $5.50 price? You tie them boats up. That's how you get a $5.50 price.
Tell the buyer.
Never mind what this guy's got and what that guy's got. Worry about what your men's making. I'm risking my life. You boys are holding the wheel. I'm holding pots. I'm throwing anchors. And I'm being worked to death. And I love it. So I'm still doing it. Tie them up.
I love what he said, and I'm glad we come to the grips with bringing the crew members aboard. Because you fellows all know. And if you don't know, I'm going to tell you what you're going to know. The crew members can stop this fleet tonight if they want to. Bear that in mind. And you fellows are not making a good living for them, and you know you're not. Would you do what they're doing, you skippers? No way. Would I do it? No, I wouldn't do it either.
The crew members control this industry completely. So you want to just remember that. I do agree with that gentleman down back. Yes, if it comes down to the point that you got to tie them up, tie them up. Where there's not very many jobs out in Alberta. There's only just so many. So you can travel there, but you might have to come back home. But the point is, why leave? We've got something here, so let's try to keep it.
Well, I'll monitor the price of lobsters. Thank you. Excuse me. I will monitor the price of lobsters every morning and every night. We'll just say that we do get, I think we can get to the $5.50 price. We're going to have to be patient and give it a few days. I'm not talking 2 or 3 weeks. I'm saying a few days. Let's see what's going to happen. Okay? Because the reason being, I don't want to delay this. I don't want to delay this system because your lobsters will get a little old, and I don't think you should put shit lobsters on the market. I think you've got to put good quality on the market, and this is something you guys got to do. You can't go to work and hold your lobsters for 3 months with the legs eat off, barely alive, and expect to get good money for them. When you go buy a lobster dinner, when you, I'm going to go the other way around. When you take lobsters home, what do? You take your day's catch? Or do you take lobsters that's been held for a couple months in your lobster cart? You don't take your lobsters home that's been held in your lobster cart for 2 months. You got to remember, that has to change. That is a priority. Okay, somebody else wanted to talk here.
You're forgetting one thing.
I forgot a lot of things in my lifetime, let me tell you.
You're forgetting one thing. The question was asked, how did you get to the price of $3.25? Well, the price is reflected off the American lobster industry. If they can't get the prices here in Nova Scotia, they just go to Portland, Maine and buy it anyway. That's where your soft lobster is coming from, Portland, Maine. But it's getting mixed up with the Nova Scotia lobster industry. You got Lobster Fisherman's Market, you got Clearwater, pushing that stuff out there all year long, either from native fishery or the mainland industry itself. So that's how you reflect on that 325 when Maine sounded at 250.
No, I disagree with you.
I do it.
I disagree with.
I know it.
I disagree with you telling me that's how we got the
The
325.
American industry reflects the Canadian fishing.
Listen, I'll
If
tell
they
you.
can't get the price here, they go there.
Listen,
Who's paying you to talk like this?
no arguing. No arguing. No. Wow.
This is a bunch of grown men that are talking sense. We're not being paid here to talk shit.
Yeah, I'd like to say a little something there. My name is Stephen Saunier from Pickney's Point. That's where I go fishing out of. The first thing I'd like to say is, can we buy this industry? Yeah. We can buy it with money. The whole world is about a big company. The bigger you are, the more money you got, you can buy whatever you want. What do we want? We want to go fishing. By going fishing, we're going to buy the industry little by little by little. So, we're going to make a company, which James here is going to be the advisory for, with his crew members on his side. We're going to make a company. First company, number 1. All the lobsters pass through that company. So volume. You're looking at volume now. You sell 20 million pounds of lobsters. Out of the 20 million pounds, you're going to take 50 cents out of every pound. That's $10 million. What are you gonna buy with 10 million? You're gonna buy a cannery. When you come to the wharf and you got soft lobsters, your soft lobsters are gonna be graded at the wharf by the guys that buy your lobsters right now. Who's the ones that buy your lobsters? Well, it was my dad for a while. And he's sick and he's home. And we sat down and had an idea. This is the idea I'm saying. So you come home to your wharf, you grade your lobsters, they go to the cannery. Who owns the cannery?
The community.
You're right. The community owns it. There's a line that goes right across from Digby to Liverpool, and it's for sale if you guys want to buy it. And you can buy it with 50 cents. That's not hard to do, 50 cents, but if you're selling 30 million, 20 million, 10 million pounds, that's a lot of money. You buy whatever you want.
Can we call it Lobster Mark?
Lobster Mark.
Basically, it's whatever you come up with. But the idea is there.
That's a good idea.
That's a lot of money to have, to buy whatever you want, just from selling your lobsters to your number one company. Your number one company, there's the beginning of all companies, and the way lobsters you buy and you sell, and every time you sell you make a profit of 25 cents or 50 cents or whatever it is. But with the number one company, you don't have forklift drivers, you don't have truck drivers, you don't have drivers, to drive the trucks. You're just landing the lobster, and you're getting 50 cents out of that lobster right away.
I don't know up to date how many lobsters have been caught, but just think about this. I would say, when you think of 35 million caught so far this year, since the season opened, does anybody have any kind of an idea? But we'll work on 35 million. You lost $2 a pound. That was a fair price. Gone by the wayside. That's $70 million you could have put into this economy in your crewman's pocket, and that is a lot of money. Now, I don't really remember this, but anyway, the date, but we around Cape Island, Bear Point, Woods Harbour, started talking about a cannery. And we had several meetings with Sterling Belleville, to make this short. A cannery, okay, first of all, if you're buying direct from the fishermen, okay, you will be able to share some of that commission money with the fishermen. And you'll also be able to share some of the transportation costs. Because every cannery has to pay a commission here to the lobster dealer. That money can be put in your fellow's pocket, in your crewman's pocket. Now, what we told Sterling, what we wanted to do, some of the members is here, Stephen's here, he was on the board, he informed the board. Sterling come and promised us that he would buck up 80% of the cannery, and that's still negotiable. We had to raise 20%. And what we figured out was going to happen, and this is, we thought this up, and we wanted to get this done. This cannery was not going to be owned by a corporation. It was going to be owned by the communities. The Widges, Matagan, Briar Island, Port Latour, wherever. It was going to be owned by the communities, not a corporation. Not me, not you, per se. Anyway, what happened was, Sterling started backpedaling. I won't go into that. Today I promised myself I wouldn't badger anybody. The only fellow I'm going to badger is probably Jeff Irvin. I want to get a couple smashes at him. And I will. Okay? So, right now, Sterling knows what's going on, and you know strength comes with numbers. When I find out where we're at, and I want to be at 80%, remember this, 80%, crew members, skippers, we can do this. If you take out before the government and say, listen, here's what we got. we got 80% crew members and 80% skippers, then they're gonna have to pay attention to you. And we will have our cannery. We even went and got some, we even negotiated with 2 municipalities to find out where we could put this.
Yeah, we're going.
We did. And really, our municipalities, all kinds of land. All kinds of it. I'm not saying it should go there. You fellas gotta tell me what you want. I don't even have a vote. But anyway, I really want to tell you where we've been and what we've been working at. Okay? Okay, want to have more comments? Must be somebody's got something on the mind. Oh, come on then. Come on.
Hey there, my name's Justin Jacquard. I fish out of Little River Harbour. And I've been talking about this for 5 years now, and it's about time we get together and unite. I personally don't think that the $300 or $250 is enough. We pay $2,000 for our licenses. $1,000 is enough. The other $1,000 should be pooled up in the association. That way we'd be a real player, and money wouldn't be an issue. I know we need expense accounts, lawyers, lobbyists, spokesperson. But anyway, it's time that we get together, and for those of you who don't want to join the association, if you don't want to do it for yourselves or personal financial gain or your crew members, and you don't want to do it for us, who's on the brinks of will be owned by the guys trying to expand their empire. If you don't want to do it for us or yourselves, then do it for your friend that owns a restaurant or a corner store or a guy that sells shoes, because we're all spliced in together here. We're all together, and if we can't get together, this is going to be a ghost town.
In the middle, we agreed on $250. Here's how we're going to make up the difference. The business owners and the public sector is going to come aboard, and they're going to donate some money to us. They will. It's going to be a lot. Don't get me wrong, this is not going to be easy, because you fellas have made an awful mess. You made an awful mess. You did. You know, probably like me, I kept saying to myself, well, the existing association was going to come aboard and do something about it. I kept waiting. And by the way, I was elected to that board. I lasted 2 meetings. And the reason why I left was quite simple. I told the boys that there was a rats that headed up the association. If we don't have governing powers, I will not be on this board, because I'm not going to abuse my fellow fishermen. I won't do that. And if you know, I told them all, I said, you fellas know what the government will do. They'll control you, and you will abuse your fellow fishermen. So I lasted 2 meetings. No, I refuse to abuse my fellow fishermen. I can't do that. I made that way. Listen, I've been going to meetings for 55 years. And every meeting I ever went to where the government was involved, all except here and this one today, every one I went to, I was mad. When I went out through that door, I could have chewed off spikes. Because it was all about control. And the government don't like it that this meeting's going on today, because they can't control us. And they're not going to control us.
Right.
This is your industry. And remember how we get that, with over 80%. Come on, got to be more guys coming up there. We're not done yet. We're far from being done.
I agree with that gentleman over there.
Nobody's speaking again. Said his term. Said his term. Said his term.
In the industry. Well, yes, we can own the
Somebody else
industry.
is gonna top ones, right?
Right.
So
But you're gonna own.
we're not cutting them out.
If you buy all the shares in Clearwater, and you buy the voting shares, you can buy Clearwater. You can buy their industry.
What are they listed for?
Buy enough shares and a company.
I'll be honest, no, you can't. I don't know your name, say you're threatened. So, your business is, what about the crew members? You talk about, you can sell it, what's gonna happen to the crew members?
Well,
They lose a job.
No, the crew member, or my vote, is going
Does
to
he have a share?
would pay into this company.
When you sell out, you give them a share when you sell out?
They're going to pay into this company, which
Yeah.
they're going to sell their lobsters to.
I think it's
Why,
your loss.
they're going to sell they get a percentage of their lobsters, right?
They get a percentage of what you get.
That's right. But when they're done fishing, they're going to gain a pension at the end of their fishing.
Can you prove that? Anybody swear on that?
Well, you have bylaws and you have amendments,
Bylaws, where's bylaws?
because if you're going to have a company, you've got to do it by law.
By law. When's it come down to law yet? He's trying to start something, there ain't no laws yet.
I know.
Government laws, but I don't, unlike James, I don't believe in none of them.
And there you go.
Sorry, somebody's got it turned on. What do you mean called bylaws? Where's the fisheries ever bylaws? Government's got it.
What I'd like to explain there about what he's saying is that I'm in a hearing committee down in Fort Maton. To be in that committee, I'm one of the 100 members, and we have.
Hold it, last time coming over there. Next time I come over, you gotta go. If you got something to say, you can't come there and argue. I won't let you. You get up, you be quiet, you get up there and have a speech. You got that one opportunity. You ready to come up here and say anything? No, you don't have that road here. We got a meeting going on here.
I want to say here. What I started to say
You
is,
come here to rest. That's what
I didn't know I did. I don't have this.
we're coming here to rest.
No, I didn't.
United we stand,
Exactly.
divided we fall.
Yep.
I'm not speaking for the chair, I'm speaking as all you guys here. We don't need no more of that stuff over there that's going on. No more. I really think that from Digby to Halifax and maybe beyond that, we've got to be one name, one force, one thing. And I think we can, as he said before, I think we can focus on probably 10 different things, but the price is the issue today.
That's right.
Maybe tomorrow, that'll be another issue. Today's got to be the price. This is what's killing us, the price. Most people are catching plenty of losses. And I've been to meetings. I was on the advisory committee in Yarmouth for 13 years. I probably wasted 12 of those 13.
I agree with that one.
Anyway, I met a lot of good people. There were a lot of good men on that advisory
I
committee.
agree with that one. I do.
And the problem we have as fishermen, when something goes down or something, we decide something, we always want to vote with our own little interest. Well, I fish inside, so I'm going to vote this way. I fish outside, so I'm going to vote this way. We got to put all those differences aside, and we got to vote for the overall industry, not for our own individual little things that we have for this community, that community. Every community fishes a little different. And I'm going to preach you, I'm just going to tell you this. I was in church the other night, the pastor was up speaking, and he talked about status quo. I never really knew what status quo was, except that it means that they keep on doing the same thing. And what he said was, we don't like change. We don't like change. Or maybe we've had such things going on so much of the time, so many years, that we call it status quo. We have been in the status quo for 4 years. Low price, hard to make money. Then he said something very interesting. I told James that the other day in the Haven. You know what status quo means in Latin? I was shocked. The mess we're in. You need to get out of the mess.
The man that stood there speaking to me said about Clearwater. They can control all. Are you just going to stand up for yourself, or are you going to stand up for them when it comes down to it?
Stand up for Clearwater?
Yeah, or the fishermen.
Listen, I've said repeatedly.
What he's saying is the company's going to own it.
I don't think.
They got more money.
I tell you what.
He said we could own it. He didn't say the company's gonna own it. He said if you bought
You
all
could,
the shares,
and that means the
if
same
you buy
thing.
all the shares of
If you
any
can.
company, you own it, right?
Well, that's why I'm glad there's independent people.
I don't think Clearwater's any threat at all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, he
Need a
didn't
threat
really
for
say
me.
that either.
Thank you.
I always done my thing.
Trust me, word on that.
I run my business from 68 to 97. That was the last payday for me out. And I done what I wanted to do. Now, don't get me wrong. I didn't live in a perfect world, and I never done everything perfect, but you know
You're
what?
saying nobody can buy you out?
No.
Thank you.
They never bought me
Thank
yet.
you, James.
And I've been going 15 years, so, I mean, how they gonna buy me out?
He's got nothing.
Get up there.
If you buy your lobsters, aren't you a buyer? So if the buyers are giving you a price, be the first buyer in line, which is you. It's yours. You're the owner of the company. If you're gonna sign up for James's committee, you're actually the owner of the company, which is the #1 buyer, which is you. So when the season starts, you are gonna say to yourselves, as the first time buyer, what do you want for lobster price? And you're gonna give it to yourself, because you're buying your own lobsters. The next guy in line is gonna be the guys that are buying your lobsters right now, at the wharf right now. They're gonna buy it and give you 50 cents on every pound. Your money is gonna generate real fast.
Listen, you guys, you both got to calm down so people can hear. Start with, I haven't got very good hearing, and you fellas got it. Be very quiet till we get this thing over with. Okay, Mr. Swim?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'd just like to say that from a different perspective, I'm out there in the world as far as the marketplace and the hotels and the restaurants and travel the world sort of thing, and I gotta say, what Steve and Sonia here is making a whole lot of sense. I gotta do one thing and say, only one person could do this and bring this together, and that's James Newton. Standing ovation for him. So edify who I am from Cape Island roots, and mother's from Barrington. I'm Maxwell, my late father. And basically right now I represent a consortium, lobster.ca website, www.lobster.ca. Couldn't get a possible better domain as far as optimization, as far as listing on the, bear with me. I'm the outsider, I feel like, but I'm with you. Been around all my life, so. So as far as optimization, if you search Canadian lobster or Nova Scotia lobster, it comes up top 3 or definitely the top page. Guess a question, show of hands, who in your household has a computer? Does everybody have a computer? Son, daughter, brother, sister, everybody has a computer. So to think outside of the box a little bit, I'm talking society, it's an alliance, right? You're all coming together, it's a bit of an alliance. That's what it's all about. So to list off a few things that lobster.ca can bring, everybody's throwing out ideas, but there's the end decision to be made. You've done. A guy spent a bunch of money on the concept, so I'm forming an alliance with him potentially. We're in talks.
Who's got the most money that wants our lobsters?
Excuse me, but are you?
China.
China. Japan.
Yeah, no,
Japan.
No, China.
China.
Got a couple billion people there.
Yeah,
China, anything expensive that has to be sold, you've got to go to China to market your product to be successful.
I'm kind of concerned about him. Is he trying to self-promote himself like Jeff Urban? Because to me, he sounds like another Jeff Urban. Don't want a part of it. No.
I'm throwing.
No. Right here to discuss prices on lobsters and how we can get better enough for us to come in.
I'm representing the fishermen trying to help the thing.
To me, you're self-promoting your business. Don't want to hear it. This is our business.
He disagrees.
No.
He's trying to make it easier for, like, how many people are in the fishing industry around here? They're not all here.
For right now,
If we have a vote right now, and he wanted to put the vote online as well, you would have that many more votes added to it rather than just the amount of people
but
sitting here.
that's not what we're here today to do. Yeah, I'm sorry, but
No,
to me, he's trying to self-promote himself, and we're here to discuss the price of lobsters.
I think he's just trying to help. I think he's just trying to lay his hand out there to help the association be better.
I'm trying to help with an idea. I understand his perspective, but it just so happens I got lobster.ca. And as far as social media, a big step. Sorry to self-promote, but it's not, but I'm a part of Canadian Atlantic Lobster on Facebook page. I won't say show of hands, but there's 4,000 constituents already on Facebook. The biggest lobster base in social media that's information, pictures, people, opinions, and they've got a dialogue in there.
And then, right, today is the day that, like David said, we're here trying to get a $5.50 price. Everything's on the table. Everything. I'm willing to listen to anything if it's going to be helpful to us, and we're going to pick out a part and find out if it's a green light, if it can help the industry. That's what we have to do. That's what I'm here for. Right now, we're stopped. I won't say we're stopped. Right here, the system we have, you fellas have failed it. Because you went out and caught your lobsters, you brought them in, and you threw them at the dealers and say, give me what you can. Can't do that anymore. Definitely can't do that anymore. So I'll let you finish.
I'm here to help. So I understand what you're saying, but I'm here to help applaud James' mood, and we'll see what the future brings, but this is a start, and that's what's laid out on lobster.ca, whatever, talking to co-op, this is yours. This is District 34, 33, that's where I'm from, and it just happens, because my family's been in this business. I'm fourth generation. I'll do it for, you love lobstering, and I've been lobstering.
That's the only question I got.
I mean,
don't mean, you know, like.
They're paying with the blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah,
it's like somebody.
More money.
It's like somebody said here.
That we have already.
Yeah, you fellas have worn your crew members out, and the big thing that was saying this fall, we'll go harder. Oh yeah, you want to go harder, and you're going to make money at $3.25? Bull crap.
You can't go any harder than we've been going.
What?
You can't go any harder than we've been going. That's retarded.
I am fine, James, and I am so glad you are here.
Thank you.
I really got lost here. Those processing plants. I only have grade 4. I have no education. I go fishing for a living. I'm not a buyer. I have no interest to be a buyer because they're very nasty people, and I'm a little bit kinder than that. What I want to say is, we're always talking about fixing this industry and sticking together. So we have a perfect chance. We have no problems with that at all. The first thing we got to do is fix our own damn stuff.
Right.
The first thing we got to do is stick together. We got to fish together. And like James said, he couldn't see not going 300 pots. Neither can I. All we need is 375. Take the rest of the goddamn stuff out of the water. All fish the same. All fish and have an equal opportunity. And we all have a chance. Some fishermen is going to be better than others with 375, and some is going to be worse. But at least you have a chance. There's a lot of gear in the water that doesn't need to be there. You've got millions of pounds of lobsters coming into this industry crooked. And you got all of the, and that's what puts our price down. And that's going to put our price down forever unless we smarten up, stick together. And I am a culprit of overfishing because I am probably one of the worst ones. But you can change your mind. You can see what's going on. And you can fix your communities. And it's time well better do it now. Yep. Thank you, James. There's one thing I do know. You join this association, and I'll tell you one thing. I've known James for a long time, and it will god darn well be heard.
First and foremost, I hope we can get to the 80 plus. I don't believe anybody wants to talk right now, but we got to have 80%. And the onus is on you guys to make sure we get 80%. I can't canvass everyone. I'm going to look after what's ours. I got it. That's where my roots come, and that's where I'll start from. If I have any time, yeah, I'll go around and ask people what the problem is if they don't want to join. My address is 1/5 Box 150 Woods Harbour. James Moore, of course, BOW2EO. Anybody that wants to send a check, you know the name of the association, you can mail it. We're going to have another meeting tomorrow in Shelburne. Everybody's welcome. Everybody. Now, I'd like to know, is there any business people here? Anybody from the oil companies, bait companies, pot builders? Anybody here? Anybody here will stand up Who's here that has a business they run in this area? You? What do you do?
I own the old Argyler.
You do?
Yeah.
We want a donation from you too, pal. Remember what we're doing here. This will benefit you. Pardon me?
You'll get a donation from my father's company.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes. Anybody wants to talk? Well, come on.
Okay. There's just one, I got a lot of things I want to say, but I'm not going to waste your time. Well, the thing is, I've been talking for a long time about a cannery. I think we need a cannery. We don't need one building. We need a couple facilities spread across the area so that, you know, put the women and the people that aren't fishing, put some money into the economy, you know, put 100 workers, 50 workers here, you know, instead of one big, few small canneries. Once they're canned, once they're processed, frozen, whatever, now you got a chance to market the thing. Now you can push this product out into the world. It's not just, here we are, it's dying, do something with it quick, please pay me, do, you know. Now you can sit down and push this product. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the canneries pretty well dictated our prices fall, and if we had our own facilities.
No, pardon, you dictated.
Well, I played a part in it. I played a part in it, but not. Maybe I did, but I didn't do it in the same malicious fashion that the canneries did. They basically said, "This is what we're going to pay, and we know that you can't deal with your product, so you're either going to sell your product to us for this price, or they're going to die on you, and you're going to choke on them." And so basically, that's what happened. And if we had, we'd have much more control of our product because, let's face it, we know we're landing way too many lobsters and way too many poor quality lobsters to deal with. But that's not why I come up here. The thing, I got to thinking, I'd like to see, which I don't know if this is fair or possible, but at my harbor, I fish out of Sanford, it's a different kind of place than some places. And they're not really people to get involved in very many things, and they kind of just go about their little life. And I was kind of curious to know at the end of the day how many of my guys actually joined and supported this group. And I thought it would be a neat idea if the names of the members were on the internet, and you could go and you could check and see how many, so that way, in a nice way, you might be able to talk to one of your fellow fishermen and say, "I noticed that you're not with this," and talk to them on your own time in a nice way, and maybe encourage them to join. And that way, and there's a lot of people that, you know, $250 is nothing, but boy, they cry, and you know, I don't want to pay it. But if they think everybody's going to know whether they've paid or not, I think we definitely need numbers, and I think that's a way to encourage people to join and maintain their membership.
I agree. You can go online and see whatever paid their land taxes.
I thought you'd have something to say today. Very quiet, how come?
I got one thing to say.
What?
How come the loan board ain't joining? If you owed me money, I want you to make money, because I don't want you to come to me and say, "Look, I only got $3 to go off and can't make my payment." The loan board should be on board here.
No, I told you, I'm not a kiss-up artist for the government and bureaucrats, I'm not.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
So it's the loan
No.
board, is it the government?
The loan board has been very good, I think, you people, but I think that right now, we got a problem with price. And down the road, we can tackle some of these things. Can you imagine how many entrapment laws you fellas got on the books? Do you fellas realize there's an entrapment law on the book that every one of you fellas you're in violation of this law every year. You must tend your gear within 72 hours. If not, they can write you up and take you to court. You fellas know that?
Yes.
Every one of you can be wrote up. You take the measure. I think the measure's wrong too, because in Woods Harbour, I tell you what I used to do. I used to make sure, and I'm off course here a little bit, and I'm going to stop this. Every crew member come aboard me and I'd say, if the measure goes down the back, throw it overboard. Why? Well, if a fishery officer comes aboard, he's going to make it a short lobster. Because if you put enough pressure to that eye socket, you can make it a short lobster. And in Woods Harbour, there's zero tolerance, so they're going to take me to court. No, I'm not doing that. But I'm off course here. But listen, we got a problem. I would like to know how many people. Okay, Tuesday night is coming on. I wonder if everybody is going to honor. You keep your lobsters wherever you have to keep them, and you have to strive to get to 550. I wonder how strong we're going to be. That's the thing that bothers me. And if you want a 550 price, all you've got to do is screw this up. A bunch of people from a certain area, don't know who that would be. Well, guess what? We're not listening to them fellows down shore. Guess what? We're going to sell a lobster. Well, that's a good way to blow things to pieces. We can't have that. Can't. That's what's happened with the 325 lobster to start with. Can't be done.
That's another thing, James. I'm not even going to run up there, but like forget all these things. But this was another thing I wanted to ask at this meeting. Like where I fish, I don't have the ability. There are no lobster cars, no land-based facilities. And if we're going to do this, and I'd like to do this, no great amount of lobsters being landed by me or anybody else that I know, but I'd like to be able to, and I've got many friends that I'm quite certain I can look after myself, but I'd like to have guys that got free space wherever to put that space out to their friends, fellow fishermen, so that we can get this done, because there's a lot of guys that just can't deal with this. They don't know where to put them.
Down shore,
so it would really help.
Curtis, down shore, Martin Crow, Shore's got space. I know Robert Swim's got space. Philip Prouty called me, he can have 60,000. Get a hold of them people if you want. I don't think, I personally don't, I think the price of 550 is going to come sooner than later. And like I told you, I'm not interested in putting out something that will make these lobsters hit the market and be a bunch of shit lobsters. Can't do that neither.
No, exactly, but exactly. If this can work and we got to make it work, it'll go fast. You know what I mean? But it's got to work.
That's what we.
Like I'm even thinking. I'll tell you what I had in my mind. I was actually considering asking my buyer. I know he wants to buy my lobsters, and he'll buy them soon enough. Mind doing me a favor? We all got to work together here. I want to put my lobsters in your pound, and I want to leave them there till you can pay me $5.50. You know, and really be honest with him. And that's, hey, he knows what we're going through.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's another problem.
I want to put it for free.
You got a whole lot of fishermen here that's in the circumstances of where they can't not sell. And I mean a lot, if you want to look down the pipe. So, if you're talking about going out fishing, I can't go because I can't save my lobsters. He can go because he's got a place to put them. And if we're going to be united and we're going to work together and we're going to get a $5.50 price, land the goddamn deer, put it ashore, and nobody.
By the way, a lot of the dealers who call me, they all actually exercise that idea that you fellows should land your gear. Now, we got something going on, we just can't override that. I tried very hard in Barron to get the right, I tried very hard to convince the people that we shouldn't land in lobsters because that way the price would increase faster. Probably Philip's got the right idea. But right now, we got to let this play out and see if the dealers will come to $5.50. And like I say, I'm not going to entertain the idea, I can't, to wait down the road 3 or 4 weeks. I'd say give it a week, or I'll say give it 5 or 6 days, and if nothing don't happen, we'll have to have another meeting and decide, and you fellas decide what you want to do. How's that sound?
Dave, I'm willing to stay home for a week or a week and a half. I had no problem with that. And leave my gear in the water as long as everybody else does the same thing. I'm just saying, if we're going to be fair and united,
I tried very hard.
One person can go fishing to save, and the other person can't save on account of different reasons. It's not fair.
I tried.
The only thing you can do is either to stay home, whether you can sell them or whether you can teach.
I tried very hard, Philip, to ask the fishermen in Barron Loch probably shouldn't be bringing lobsters ashore. In other words, seesaw activity. They never give me that mandate.
I understand.
Now, why didn't we do that in November?
Come again?
Sit tight now. Why didn't we do that in November?
Why didn't we do it? Because we're stupid. Massive.
Why didn't we sit still? 3 years ago.
Yeah, I'm Johnny Green from Westport up in Briar Island. And if we bring our traps in where we're fishing, the line goes up the graham on the inside. So they're out there fishing while we're in. So
We're gonna contact the boys who's going to.
so it can't be only District 34. It's gotta be,
I know.
it's gotta be Graham and Ann, PEI.
Oh, Maritime!
The Maritime.
Maritime!
Right, you gotta be united that way, or we may as well just forget it. In this 80%, what you want for the, you gotta have it. How are you gonna get it with all these trust agreements with guys owning 30 licenses?
How we're gonna get it? Right quick, like the crew members are gonna help me get it.
Yeah, well that's what I say. If they say you go fishing, you go fishing. Or you lose the job.
But hang on, you can't change your crew every other day because ain't that many crew members around who wants a job with it. You can't make no money.
Well, I hope so. I hope so.
You want a smoke break? Yeah. Who smokes here? You know what I'll tell you?
James, I only smoke when I drink.
Let's have a break.
Yeah, have a break.
First things I want to talk about, first of all, is if somebody down, if some dealer can pay $4.50, you fellas got to convince your lobster dealer that he has to pay $4.50. That is your problem, and that is your, listen, that's your duty. And Woods Harbor, Monday afternoon, Crest Malone paid $4.50. I don't know what he's playing today because I never had a chance to get to him. But I will find out before the day goes. I want to talk about Jeff Irvin just a little bit. I won't crap on him too much, but I'll see if I'll be a little kind to him. Jeff Irvin came to Woods Harbor. He had several meetings, and the way he perceived it in the news media, everybody's on side. But I can tell you one thing, Woods Harbor fisherman was not on side. He left after about 12 minutes. I told Jeff Irvin, I said, Jeff Irvin, how can you sit here and tell us that you're going to be able to promote these lobsters and we're going to have more sales in this world? How? He never answered that question, because I know he can't. Every place in this world a lobster can be sold, these dealers in Southwest Nova are there selling our lobsters. Now, the other thing with Jeff Irvin, if he's done a bang-up job, he's had plenty of money. He's had money for, I'm just judging, I could be a little wrong here, but probably a year and...
5 years.
He's had...
5 years from the government, he's had millions of dollars to promote our product, and he's done nothing.
Well, we don't need this guy no more.
James, if I just could, and probably there's a lot more people like me, I don't know this chap, and I don't know his background. Could you just give a little background to what he's speaking about for everybody?
Yeah, I'm not going to waste your time.
No, I want to know.
Just a little, I don't know his background. I never, listen, I thought I knew everybody in the seafood business. I don't know where this guy reigned in from. I have no idea. I don't know. Now, hang on now, hold it. If Jeff Irvin has been so successful of promoting lobsters, how come you fellas got $3.25 for your lobsters this year? That's what you fellas got to think of. Now, here's what they've done that I don't like. This is going to be mandatory. And Jeff Irvin next year can say, it isn't going to be a penny a pound, it's going to be 25 or 30 cents a pound. That's the danger part. So I'm telling you, when you fellas go to this meeting, I suggest you pick up the phone and call the governments and tell them what you got on your mind about Jeff Irvin. Now the other thing, anybody comes up here that uses microphone, you actually got about 2 minutes to do your thing. because there's a lot of people, I imagine, would like to come up here and share their views and their issues with us. So we'll give anybody 2 minutes. Who wants to come up here and talk? Come on.
How you doing today, James? I've worked in the lobster fisheries for over 25 years. Boys, the wheat farmers out west just got the right to sell their wheat to who they want, when they want. We got the right, we've had it for all our lives. If we don't start taking charge of it, there ain't gonna be no little wharves, there ain't gonna be no little fisheries, or no little fish plants, or no little bait buyers. There ain't gonna be nothing. It's time for us to stick together and get our shit together, start figuring out how we're gonna work together, and then get this on. And James, I'm glad you're here to just bring it on.
Thank you. I'm going to ask the team, how could we do today? Did we raise any money? Have we got a count?
I haven't counted it yet, no.
Okay. The other thing I want you to do, I want you to canvass your local business people and tell them that they are going to have to donate money. Without you being successful and making money, they're not going to survive. And they should be very generous. Okay. One more.
There might not be a lot of men out here making $3 a pound, first of all, to pay for that much money. I think if they pay it with their hearts, the money they can afford, they should be allowed to be counted as a number.
Okay, thank you. Like I say, we are going to target the private sector. That means if your father, mother, or your brother wants to kick in some money, we will take the money, whether it be $5 or $500, don't matter. We need money. But bear in mind, we have a rule on the book, you fellows are not supposed to sell lobsters under $5.50. Lassie, we'll play this out for a while and find out, we might not have to have another meeting, emergency meeting. Let's hope they do come, have some common sense of dealers and pay the $5.50. I know the timing was right to have them. They're out of lobsters. They haven't got enough, I wouldn't say they've got lobsters, but they haven't got enough lobsters for the winter. And that's a good thing. I don't know if they deserve lobsters. Do they deserve any lobsters? No. I agree. I'll tell them that too.
Do you want me to get a count for you?
Pardon me?
Do you want me to get a count for you so you can...
Well, we'll do it for them. Paid here today. Or how many's going to pay? That's the other thing.
Oh, yeah.
Is there somebody here's got a problem with the dues or not joining the association?
I have a problem because I only have a debit card.
I'll enter the money.
Get the road.
I don't like your boots.
And some of them have paid captains and crew all on one receipt, so, yeah.
You got 2 minutes.
My name is Carlin Johnson. I represent Wrigley's Promotions. I help certain fisheries around here promote their lobster around the road and throughout North America. My idea is this. You want your 550? Band together, okay? Form a little place of your own. Go up there to the inspection agency, pay you $300. Get your lobster inspected. Once you have that sheet, that allows you to sell it around the road. Same price as the dealers around are doing. You want $6, $7, you'll get it. If you get that inspection and box your own lobsters, then come talk to me. I'll help you sell them. Thanks. Believe it or not, that's what I do.
I got 2 minutes, buddy.
Well, I know there's a lot of good on here today, and I just got something else to tell. I remember a long time ago that I was telling you about that association. Well, they said we couldn't fight big corporations. Well, we fought Canadian Fish, Royal Fish, and BC Packers, and they pretty near ruined our industry. And it took the crew members, and we couldn't do it overnight, but we did do it. And everything came back again. But I tell you what the crew members done, when we went out fishing and we came into the water, and it didn't matter what species of fish we were fishing for, we gave up 2 cents on the pound. And that included the boat and the boat owner. And then we went and formed a co-op. And that co-op was ours. Then everybody said to people, well, how come you got $10,000 to $15,000 a couple of weeks before Christmas? Well, hold it. That guy over there just said it. The co-op made me money. Because we went and hired our own broker, and we sent him to Europe, and first year we paid him $500,000. The next year we paid him $1 million because we was making money. And that plant, it was ours.
And he put it on the front lawn up where the big papa lived, believe it or not, he did. And tented there for a while. He had his tent with him, by the way. Gotta give him any credit. 2 minutes, Carl. 2 minutes.
Well, I wasn't going to say nothing, but for those that don't know me, I'm Stephen Gorham. And you haven't got to be a rocket scientist. The people, the consumer, is paying $30 or $40 or $50 a pound over in Europe. Now, I'm not here to kick or ridicule buyers, but the consumer's paying $30 or $40 or $50. The fisherman's getting $3.50. Somebody in between is making too much money. That's the bottom line. So we know that the consumer is paying that much. We have the best lobster pound in the world. It's proved that. It's never gone dry. Look how many we catch it. This could change history. It really could, because the fishermen never have to stick together. Never have.
Hold it, don't say no more.
But we see how they destroyed our fishery. We lived through it. We were part of it. They divided us, and they conquered us. Boys, 25 years ago, they told us that lobster quota was coming. They started with fish quota. They started here, and they started there. We've seen it. We know the game plan. We know how they've done it. All we got to do is change it. Unite together, stand together, and do it. Who else? Who else sells them? When I sell you a boat, I tell you what I want for the hull, don't I?
That's right.
And you folks have got the lobsters. Why is someone else telling you what they're going to pay you?
If a buyer went to the superstore, is he going to tell the superstore, I'm going to pay you $3.25 for these lobsters? I don't think so.
Exactly. United,
That's
we
right,
stand,
that's why
divided we
superstore's still
fall.
open.
Some people has questioned me on not having lobster license holders on the board. And I'll tell you what. Every association that I know, but one, remember this, has failed miserably and abused you fellas. Look at your ground fishery, the associations in your ground fishery. Nothing but turmoil, nothing but abuse. You fellas have gone behind. Most of you don't have no fish to go for. But the abuse come from the guys that was really had the running of the association. One association stands out. I run that for 5.5 years. I did. And that still exists today. The other thing I'm going to tell you, is I'm kind of looking forward to meet with the lobster dealers, and I'm going to have a lot of fun. Because you know what? They can't bull crap me. Anybody else?
If I turn into a mouse and get in your pocket, can I go to that meeting with you?
Willie, I made a statement in Barrington, I made one today, I don't go to meetings alone. I don't. Who else got something to say? Concerns, comments? What?
I agree, we gotta have a voice. Right there.
Yeah.
Is your next step?
Somebody else must have something to say here, I know they got it.
Is
You
your
wanna
next
talk?
step, no, I just have a question. Is your next step to meet with the dealers? Is that your plan for your
You
next
fellas
step?
want me to?
Well, I think
Yeah,
you should
these
ask.
fellas gotta give me they gotta give me the course, I'll stay on the course.
Ask them.
You want me to? Ask them?
Ask them.
When you want me to meet with the dealers? Can't meet tomorrow, I got a meeting tomorrow in Shelburne.
Okay.
Friday, Saturday?
Whatever is possible for you to do.
I will meet with the dealers on Saturday. I'll call them when I get to this meeting, okay?
Yeah.
Good.
Now, anybody else have comments or concerns?
I think
Come on, get up here.
dealers,
Come on.
I think you should put that-
Both of you, come on.
Got one right there.
Oh, sorry.
That's no problem.
Come on, Tony.
On the issue of holding lobsters, I don't think this is going to work. Philip just said that he can't hold lobsters, but that's exactly. We can't go. We should tie up these boats and a show of hands on how many people would tie up their boats for a price. Come on, a couple more.
Yeah.
Well, we should have a vote.
Can't have it today. No, gotta stay the course. Give it 3 or 4 more days. We have one general meeting. Remember, I want to tell you, if the price don't go to $5.50, and we'll say in a few days, we will come back in Yarmouth and have the vote. Okay? Whatever you fellas vote, whatever decision you make, I'll carry it home.
I'm Stuart Sweeney, the way we talked last night. There's legislation coming down that people have to belong to an organization, recognized organization. What happens if you don't get your 80%? Are you willing to work with these other organizations?
If they're going to work, okay, first of all, I think we're going to get the 80%, but okay, I'm going to answer your question.
Please.
All right? If it's for the good of these fishermen and this community, I'll work with anybody.
Thank you.
This young lady from Westport, I met her about 50 years ago.
You know, I've been listening to a lot, and I've done a lot of thinking, and ever since I listened to the clips on YouTube, and I listened to James on the radio on Sunday, and I really think, believe it or not, that every one of these fishermen in this building today needs to maybe think about this very seriously. Maybe you need you to do a little soul searching yourself about your product. Why do I say that? I have sons that fish, I have family that fish, but I've also worked in lobster pans, and I can tell you that some of the product that's been coming out of those crates some days, I'm not sure I even pay $1 for it. Why? Can you tell me that you can put just the body and the head of the lobster on a plate and expect someone to pay $15 for it? I don't think so. So I think that's one thing that women have to take into consideration is you have to take pride in your product. Because if you want to beat price, you got to have a good product for your price. And that's just my own personal opinion. But like I said, I've got a lot to lose too because I've got family involved in the industry. Another thing, you know something? 5 years, I think it's either been 4 or 5 years ago, one day the word came out the lobster was going to be $15 a pound. And that, my husband's been dead for 3 years. And he said, $15 a pound? I'm going to tell you something. I don't care if it's blowing 60 tomorrow. I'm going out to say that I sold a lobster for $15 a pound. And he did. Another thing I wanted to say was, I know that there's different parts of the province and there's different concerns. And I know there's major concerns on that little rock that I live on. And one of the concerns that I've heard a lot of the men talk about, and I'm hoping that maybe this organization can address, is why is District 34 charged so much for our lobster licenses? Why do we pay a lot of the districts, you know, we're only paying $200 and $300 for the licenses, and we're being slammed for $1,850, plus our vessel registration on top of that. To me, that doesn't sound fair. I think that's something that really needs to be addressed and addressed quickly. Another thing is that I know that there's lots of boys that have the pleasure of having double licenses. We don't have any boys that I know of on our island that has the pleasure of having a double license. And I know, I don't know who made the rule this fall that maybe it should come to a vote that it should be a split season. But I can tell you one thing, that the boys on my island were actually sweating bullets. Why? Because the only thing that we've got left to depend on, I think there's only been, I think there was 3 boats that sailed out of our harbor last year for grand fishery. They went trawling. The rest of the boats are tied up. And the only thing our boys have to depend on is the lobster season. And when you split the season, you got to take one thing into consideration, that they're not only losing their income, that's the only income that they have to depend on all year, but they're also losing the ability to put in the hours and get the money for their unemployment that keeps them going all summer until the next season. And that's something that should be taken into consideration too.
Well, that goes for all of us.
That's right. But you know, in some places, you know, you have the luxury of having a different license that you can fish in the summer, or having the luxury of a different license that you can fish maybe through the winter, that our boys don't have that luxury. And another thing is that, you know, I talk to Graham and Ann all the time too, and I can tell you there's a lot of people in Graham and Ann do not know what's going over here. They do not have any idea what's going on. So the word needs to be spread around. But you know, one of the guys that I talked to from Graham and Ann before Lobster started this year said, you fellas, maybe over there in District 34, you guys need your head read. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, guess what? If I wake up Sunday morning and I don't want to go fishing, that's my business. But if my neighbor wants to go fishing, why can't he go fishing? If it's against your religion not to go fishing on Sunday, don't go. But if I get up in the morning and I want to go fishing, isn't that my choice? Aren't we still in a free country? Why does everything, all things like fishing on Sunday or split season, why does this all have to come down to a vote? Why can't we use our own common sense and make our own decisions? We are living in a free country. I have a right to my opinion, you have a right to mine. That's my opinion. Good luck.
11 years ago, they come here with 1890. And you fellas don't know this, but they were going to definitely drive 1819 home. Some of the industry actually wanted the 1890. But here's what they wanted to do that they never done. The next level was going to be $5,400, and the next level was going to be $11,200. Jeff Irvin, the navigator, says they're going to review District 34 for license fees. Get braced. Because you know what? You could be paying $11,200 if we don't fight this one. Now, about the next meeting, whoever pays, I'm just telling you this is the way the rules is going to be, right? Whoever pays their dues will come and vote. That's the way it's got to be. Philip?
Well, I'm back on the same old thing again. If we want $5.50 for our lobsters, they already said show of hands who would stay in. And it was quite a lot, they didn't put them up. So we were already divided. That's really smart.
But you're not going to get 100%.
No, you ain't going to get 100% because we ain't smart enough for 100%. I didn't even think we were smart enough for 50, but we get there.
But anyway, what I want to say is, if you want us, I can't save, I can't put them anywhere, I can't do nothing. Even if I could, I wouldn't take them to Woods Harbor and pay somebody for them to hold them for me anyway. Screw it. So I would rather stay home. So I am willing, and I hope the rest of this building is willing, to give you your week, or 8 or 9 days, without going fishing. Well, even if it's 8 days, it doesn't, I'm saying, this is what we gotta do. And if we don't, we are undivided and we are back to square one. You can have
$5 a pound, right?
yes,
Yeah.
and you can have the smartest man, which I think we have right here, a good smart man, both sides of the fence. He's been in the business. I've sold him fish. I've sold him swordfish. I've sold him a lot of stuff. Smarter than me, because I got less. But he was fair, and he'll be, and I'll tell you, we'll be heard. We won't be a little city mouse on the block. Well, could you help me out with this? You can't go with nasty people, be nice. You gotta be nasty. Because nasty people like nice people. But nasty people don't like nasty people because it's a conflict. So let's get nasty.
That's right.
Yeah. Yes, I'm really excited about the turnout today. I'll put emphasis on being united. And if you're divided, we ain't going nowhere. And I think this is for a good, I know it's for a good cause. You folks have to take back your industry. You have to. Is there anybody else who'd like to come up here and make a comment? Or a concern? Now's the time.
Mr. Moot, can you say where and when the meeting is tomorrow?
Come again?
Say where and when the meeting in Shelburne.
We'll have a meeting in Shelburne at 1:30 tomorrow.
Where?
At the fire hall. 2 minutes, young man.
What about setting up a website?
We want to do that.
Okay.
We are.
You're going
We are going to do that. That's Miss Reed.
Okay.
For us to have.
So that way, anyone,
Yes.
anywhere at all,
Gotta have it.
can see what's going on.
Gotta do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about the people that don't know how to use the computer, don't know how to get on?
That's what I'm thinking on your buddy.
He hit the nail on the head, so I don't know how I came across that young fella, sort of busted me up, making me come across as I'm representing myself or in a club, that kind of thing, but I guess the fact is, he just said it, a central place that you can go and see.
Are you offering to make a website for the association?
Basically, Lobster.ca is
saying?
representing 33 and 34 exclusively.
No, you're representing, yeah. Okay.
So you want to go online, you got a girlfriend, you want to pay for this,
So you'll
there'll be a link to
advertise
your
for us.
bank, PayPal. You can, very easy, if you got a wife or a daughter or a son, they can go online and buy the $250 association. 2, convince your local store owner or SO or whatever, corporate, to pay. So that'll be a link to the site that I'll consult or we'll work together to build. Thank you.
Thank you. Like I say, remember, we're not going to stall the situation on 550. It's going to be sooner than later. Meaning sooner or later, like Phil said, between 5 and 8 days. In the meantime, let's stay the course. Young man.
My name's Troy Nickerson, Cape Islander, now lives in West Side, so that's a good combination.
Yeah.
Something I think we need to take into consideration is that this definitely can work. But something, James, I think you need to take into consideration is the board that you're putting together. And understand that we're talking 2 districts with 2 cultures of people. And I think one of the things that the problem of getting more people on board initially is perhaps to do with the trust factor. It always stands to reason, if I'm sitting down in Port Medway or Lunenburg or wherever we stretch down there, if I got somebody I can identify with a face sitting on your board, I'm going to have a little bit more confidence. If I'm from Clare or I'm from West Pubnico and I'm a French person, and I know there's a creditable French person on your board, I'm more apt to feel more comfortable about what's going on as a whole. You need the numbers. And the truth be told, and I'm sure we've all had conversations since last Wednesday, there's a lot of questioning this. There's a lot of skepticism. There's a lot of issues of trust. A lot of people sitting here today came here for those very reasons. Maybe they're not voicing it, but they're thinking it. They still deserve to have their question answered. Now they have to determine from today whether they're on board. That's their prerogative. But I would suggest, or I would encourage you to take those things under consideration, expanding your board a bit, to have representation of 2 districts and 2 cultures of people, because that's just who we are. And we have the opportunity, you know, they say history can be made. History can be made in a lot of ways, and that's shown that 2 cultures and 2 brands of people can come together. But Rome ain't built in a day, is it? It takes time, and it's going to take a little give and take, and it's going to take being patient, especially if you're in this room today and you agree with everything. Chances are by tonight you're going to meet somebody who's totally opposed. That's okay, you got to be patient. Just let them sit back and watch. Step by step you can take it, but you got to be patient with it.
I gotta state it for us. I guess I gotta say that if you fellas didn't believe in me and trust me, you wouldn't be here. You would not be here. People that know me, I've always been on side with the fishermen. I've wore 2 caps in my life. I spent about 2/3 of my life being a lobster dealer and 1/3 of my life on the ocean. You fellas all know that. Every one of you. So, if you believe in me, if you don't believe in me, you've got to stand up, come up here and say, James, you go home. But you know what? I won't stay where I'm not wanted. I'll pay that respectfully. I think you do trust me. Now, to answer his concerns, everybody don't want to be on this board, and I've asked a few people. Okay, the first thing you run into is when you say this is voluntary work, someone gets off course here and they think there's going to be money here involved. Right now, we don't have no money. And if we did have money, it's still going to be that you're not going to be able to be a board member and get paid for this. Not now. Probably never. I've tried a few people to the western. And the other thing is, someone does not want the negative part where a guy comes up and say, oh, you're on the board, you're no good because you've done this, you've done that. You know, fishermen are their own worst enemies. But I will definitely come up with a couple more people or 3 more people on this board. I'd like to get 2 to the eastern and probably a couple to the western, 4 more people.
We got one right now, James.
Well, Willie, me and you's going to have to talk, and that will be in Shelburne on tomorrow afternoon.
Right on.
But remember what I'm going to tell you. You cannot come there for your own selfish gains. Remember what James was saying. But you know what? I'm not going to be able to handle it. I'm going to ask you to go. So you can come on you can come on board once we talk. If you ain't headed in the right direction, and you're not on Southeast Fishermen in these communities, you can't come aboard. You can't say, well, oh, down in my place, you know, we got to do this and we got to do that because, well, this has got to be done, that's got to be done. No. You've got to come on the board for the goodness of all the people. That's the same as I'm not going to treat West Pimlico any different than what's Harbour. Wouldn't have to say it. Anybody else got any concerns? Comments? Gee, I thought you fellows really would get me wound up today, but you're not doing it.
You're not going to be spitting.
I am. I used to be proud.
Me too. So, Matt, we're going to ask somebody to adjourn the meeting.
I would like to know why, when the president...
You get up here, right now.
I'm not going to name the restaurant, but I got a wife that works part-time as a waitress. You can buy clams and chips for $10. Why at $3.25 are you paying $25 for a plate of lobsters at our local? They're not getting shipped from here to Boston and then you're paying $25. They're getting caught here, they stay in these ponds. And then our local restaurant people are getting them for, you know, cheap, $4. But then the consumer goes and sits down and you're going to pay $25 for the goddamn thing? Right?
No fair.
Sorry. If they put the price where it belongs, they'd sell more. So our own local restaurant owners aren't supplying our own industry. They're not supporting our own industry. I want to know.
I've heard a lot of good things here today, a lot of people talking, and I was just wondering, all these people are, you're going to adjourn the meeting pretty soon, and we're going to walk out. And I wonder what they're going to, is everybody thinking the same thing I'm thinking? What is the plan?
Plan?
Yeah. No, you know what the plan is? I don't know. I don't know a lot of people here don't got the plan.
We agreed on this in Barrington. You stay, hold it. You can go out. I was not for this. I wanted everybody to see fish and bring lobsters ashore. Woe to them. We agreed in Barrington, you cannot sell lobsters on the 550
I know.
pound. Hold it now, you said, what's the plan? That's the plan. We gotta let that play out.
Well, Philip just got up here and said, though, he can't.
But he also said he wasn't gonna haul them either.
Right. Yeah.
Steve ain't for it. So you got the same, you got the same thing that, you got the same alternative what folks got. Plan is a plan. That's it.
Hopefully everybody's got a good plan.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think the plan should be?
I think we should be talking to the wall.
What?
Tie the boat straight to the wall.
Oh, I agree. That's what I want. That is what I want.
I have to agree with what he just said. We know which direction we're going. Then we got to do it. Point blank.
This is what we're staying for. And if we can't get this overcome to 550 pound, we'll have a meeting.
Well then,
and you, sir,
we don't have to have another one. Are we agreeing?
No, we're not doing that. No, we're not going to undermine what the rules we laid down in Barrington. We're going to play this out for 4 or 5 more days. Then we're going to have another meeting. 550 don't work.
What's the date?
Have you joined up the association yet?
Yes, I have. I agree with it. We got to. There's got to be one voice. It's got to be done and said, and it don't matter. Straight across the board.
I don't know what a lot of people think, but I do know that the direction that we're going in now is wrong. We're going in the wrong direction. We have to have a direction, and the only way it's going to be done. Like, question in my mind a lot of what we should be doing, and we're doing it now. And we have to have, for the future, I'm 60 years old and I'm on my way out. But there's somebody coming behind me that's got a future. The boat's going to stay tied wherever it is. And I hope I'm going to be able to come aboard. But I want to know what I'm coming aboard for. And without everybody taking part in this, we're failing.
We can't let that happen.
No. It's too good. This has been brought to us by our forefathers. It's just that we didn't build this.
But like,
Thank you.
but you can't
Thank you.
Yeah, I do. I just want to address what Buddy said about what the plan is. I think the plan is whatever you think you should do. If you think you should tie your boat up to the wharf, if you think that's going to get you a better price, then tie your boat up to the wharf. If you have a place to hold your lobsters and you want to hold your lobsters and not sell them, then do that. If you want to sell your lobsters, James Wood is not going to tell you that you cannot sell your lobsters. I don't care. It's up to you. But if you want to join together and do this and get it done, then if you think not selling your lobsters or tying your boat up is what it's going to take, then do that. don't be worried about what this guy's doing or that guy's doing. Well, he's going out today, so I guess I'm gonna have to go out. But if you're gonna stand up for what you believe in, then you're gonna tie your boat up and you're gonna stay the hell in, or you're gonna not sell your lobsters. I've been on boats too. I've been fishing
Thank
too,
you.
so I know what it's all about. I've demanded my fair share of lobsters.
Doing three different things is not being united.
Right.
Because some people are selling and some people are going.
Well, we talked about many things, we got off the course a
But
few
if you want
times.
to be united, then you stay in.
I wanted in Barron, honestly, hang on, honestly in Barron, I wanted the fishermen to give me a vote of confidence to stay in and not land any lobsters. That would have drove the price. Now, the price has creeped up a little bit, but it isn't $5.50. Now, we can go back to the same old garbage, the mess you fellas created, we can create another mess. We can, if you want to do that, get $3.25 for your lobster, or you can stay united and get $5.50 for your lobsters. That's a question. And remember, I want to see you fellas give me the 80% that we need. No ifs and buts about it. I would like to see, in my lifetime here, the last 20 years has been difficult. I would like to see, before I die, you fellas take back this industry, and I'd like to see it now.
I'm Bert Claremont from Fish out of Yarmouth Bar. Hired hand, part-time skipper, whatever you want to call me. Flunky, whatever. I agree totally, something has to be done. Everybody's saying about being united. I think we're all united. The big question is, as a hired hand, and Mr. Mood explained to me that I'm going to take it out, and that's going to go. $25 going in my share, right? There's a 5. There's a 5. For $25, I buy a pack of export eggs almost every day. $13.65. That's a cheap investment. All I gotta do is catch another 100 pounds, or the boat has to catch another 100 pounds. I've got that $25 back in no time. As far as staying ashore, our last day out, wow, we had 329 pounds.
You went that?
Okay? Now, you don't want to come where we are. So you guys that go out offshore, I know what a lot of you guys are catching, right? We can afford to stay in, or it sounds like we can. Actually, we can. You guys, you stay out another week, or another day, 3 or 4 days, for some reason your bait keeps fishing. That's just like money in the bank. The lobsters are sitting there, they're going to crawl. What's in them isn't going to come out.
That's right.
It's not like the old wooden posse beat all the pieces.
If it was windy for a week, you'd stay in anyway.
That's right. I don't know, I've been at this for 30 years. I don't know if you guys remember, a lot of you guys, young guys, don't. We went on strike, here I forget back when it was, for the first week in the fall. What did we lose? Nothing. What did we gain? Big time.
That's right.
And traps were already in the water. That was an investment. For $25, and you got a voice. And a lot of the crew members, there's only a few crew members, because usually every meeting is always the skippers. Right. This one, the crew's in here.
Right.
And I think a lot of the skippers should go back. Each of the crew is hey, we're all together.
$5.50.
Oh yeah, man, that $25 is gone just like that.
For the rest of the spring. Just for the rest of this season. For the rest of this season, in FLA 33, 34, I think you guys should back me on the $5.50 price for the rest of this season. You can't go on the $5.50. Now naturally, if you get more money, you're going to take that money, but that is for the rest of the spring.
Next year, $3.25.
We will not, listen, last year, the season opened up at $4.50 a pound, right? Right, guys?
$4.50, yeah.
Somewhere around Christmas, I can't remember, the price jumped to $5, and then it made another little jump to $5.50. You never caught no more lobsters this year you did last year. I don't believe. What happened to the $4.50 and the $5 and the $5.50? What happened? You fellas done that. You did. You did. You come ashore with your lobster, you throw them at the deal with it. Before you move, yeah, throw them the lobsters at you, give me what you get. That's not very funny. At all. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know you very well.
Yeah, I know you do. You gotta stop telling us that we caused this problem. We entirely didn't cause this problem. It's not my cause that the world went into recession. It's not my fault that the states now catch 10 million pounds more than they did 3 years ago.
If you looked on YouTube.
Were you ever brought up to the day?
No, he has the right copy. This 2011.
In the mic.
2011 record prices. Every snow crab goes in the United States to two conglomerates. That is Red Lobster and Long John Silver. That had a record price this year in 2011. I know what I'm talking about. Okay? Number 2, scallops. Had an all-time high. All-time high at $9.50, $9, $10, $11 they would one day. Okay? Halibut. Never come below $8.25. Hey, there's nothing wrong with people enjoying cold water fish in U.S., France, China. The economy has got nothing to do with your health. You're going to go out and buy the healthy food. And a lobster is a healthy thing to eat. So you can't get up there and tell me there's anything wrong with the economy about selling these other things. How come you got record prices for these other things?
Because 10 years ago, the quota and the amount of them things coming ashore was here. Today, it's still here. 10 years ago to the day, lobster landings are up 30-40% worldwide. Not right here in LFA 34.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we don't have a problem. I'm just saying these fishermen in this room didn't cause it all.
Yeah, you did. Every bit of it. Every bit of it. Listen to me. Listen, I asked to go to negotiate with these lobster dealers every year for 4 years. Not one soul called me. Could I make a difference? Yes. Because they can't bull crap me. I've been there. So what I'm saying to you is, the people that is marketing these lobsters, okay, they're not doing a very good job, but they're making a lot of money.
Now,
you never heard that one, you never listened to me what I told you.
Hold, I will keep it 5:50 for the rest of the training. Explain, walk me through that.
You just stand on the hold it. Hold it. Last spring, you talked what for your lobsters? $4.25. You know what? All the man talked for that lobsters in Cancer and Whitehead, Larry's River? $5.50. Hold it. I ain't done yet. Don't interrupt me. Hold it. Hold it. Plus, they paid a commission on them lobsters. Same dealers paid you $4.25 bought lobsters in Isle of Man, Cancer, Whitehead, and Larry's River. They paid, landed here $6, and you got $4.25.
So, but where do you propose that we stop if it goes under at any point? That's
Yes.
the maximum. If
Yes.
it goes under 550.
You stand it out.
That's
You stop.
where it's at.
I just want to say that there's a billion people a year being added to the world. Lobsters are being bought. Healthy food, like you said. The world's starving for healthy food. Don't talk fool talk on.
Cold water seafood is the most healthiest thing to anybody, and everybody's going to look after their health. And I'll tell you right now, here's the scenario I just told you. You fellas took $4.25 for your lobsters last spring, and the same dealers went down to Isle of Man, that's not as quite as good as your lobster, and paid $6 landed here. This is all your fellas' fault. You made the mess. You did.
guys want to be a buyer? You want James to run that association to be a buyer and buy your lobster?
Is anybody else who would like to pop in, just talk about the price and the conditions we agreed on in Barrington? If not, I'm going to ask to adjourn the meeting. I thank you for all coming. Don't forget, I think down the road here, sooner than later, we're going to have another meeting. And remember, you've got to join this association to have a voice and have a vote. Anybody want to join the meeting?
I do.
What's your name? Philip Nicholson?
Yeah.
Second? What's your name? Mr. Smith.
James.
First name? James? Gee whiz, you got a James name too? Also. Meeting's adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.